Nobody sat you down as a kid and said, "Here is how money works." But your parents taught you about money every single day without saying a word. Every time your mother whispered, "We can't afford that," in the grocery store. Every time your father went quiet when the bills arrived. Every time you heard the words, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "Rich people are greedy," or "We're not the kind of people who have that." Those sentences didn't disappear. They installed themselves in your brain like invisible software. And right now, today, as a full-grown adult making your own money and your own decisions, those sentences are still running. They're choosing what you buy, what you save, what you think you deserve, and you don't even know they're there.
Dr. Brad Klontz, a financial psychologist, spent years studying these invisible beliefs. He calls them money scripts, and he identified 4 types that cover almost every person alive. The first one is money avoidance. If you grew up hearing, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Rich people are bad people," your brain installed a script that says wanting money makes you a bad person. So you unconsciously sabotage your own wealth. You give away too much. You refuse to negotiate your salary. You feel guilty every time your bank account grows. Not because you're generous, because your brain was programmed to believe that having money means you're morally wrong. The second is money worship. If you grew up poor and watched your parents suffer, your brain installed the opposite script. More money will fix everything. So you chase and chase and chase, but no amount ever feels like enough, because the script says happiness is always in the next paycheck. The third is money status. If your parents measured people's worth by what they owned, your brain installed a script that says you are what you spend. So you buy things you can't afford to prove something to people who aren't watching. The fourth is money vigilance. If your family kept finances completely secret and treated money as something shameful to discuss, your brain installed a script that says never talk about money. So you avoid financial conversations, you never ask for help, and you make every money decision alone in the dark. One of these scripts is running your financial life right now. You didn't choose it, you inherited it, and it's been making decisions on your behalf since before you were old enough to know what a dollar was.
So how do you uninstall a program that's been running since childhood? You start by identifying which script you're running. Take 5 minutes tonight and write down the first 5 things you remember your parents saying about money. Not what they taught you formally, what you heard. The offhand comments, the arguments, the silences, the phrases that came out during stress. Write them down exactly as you remember them. Then look at your financial behavior right now. Your spending patterns, your saving patterns, your comfort level with earning, your guilt around having or not having. I promise you, the connection between what you wrote down and what you're doing today will be so obvious it will make you uncomfortable. That discomfort is the beginning of change, because a money script only has power when it's invisible. The moment you see it, the moment you write it down and say out loud, "My mother's fear of money became my fear of money," it starts to weaken, not instantly, but measurably. Then replace it. Write a new script, not a fantasy, a correction. If your old script says money is evil, your new script says money is a tool, and tools aren't moral or immoral. If your old script says, "I'm not the kind of person who has wealth," your new script says, "I'm becoming someone who builds wealth responsibly." Write it down. Read it every morning for 30 days. Your brain installed the old script through repetition. It will install the new one the same way.
Here's what I want you to hear. Your parents weren't trying to damage you. They were passing along the only financial programming they had, which they got from their parents, who got it from theirs. You're not carrying your own money beliefs. You're carrying a family inheritance of financial fear, scarcity, shame, or silence that goes back generations. But it stops with you, because now you can see the script. You know its name, you know where it came from, and you know it's not yours. It was installed in a child who didn't have a choice. You're not that child anymore. You get to choose now. If this video just made you hear your parents' voice in your own financial decisions for the first time, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.